I gotta be honest. I'm not a big Beyonce follower. I don't have anything against her. It's like, I don't listen to her music, but I do get kind of annoyed at how whenever she does anything, we have to pretend she's the second coming. It's like, oh my God, they literally call her Queen Bey. It's like she can do absolutely no wrong. If you criticize her, there's something wrong with you. Well, too bad. Deal with it. So she's come out now with a country album. And of course, these leftists and media whores pretend that no one's ever done country before Beyonce's done it. Country is this wonderful new genre that the Queen Bey has discovered. Oh my God, this is wonderful. Yeah. And the reactions to her album called Cowboy Carter, which just dropped, are of course typically over the top. Among others, who's weighed in on this? Michelle Obama decided to post about this, and Kamala Harris saying, "You have redefined a genre and reclaimed country music's Black roots." Why did country need to be redefined? What was wrong with it that we needed it to be rescued by Beyonce, right? And that's the same message basically from Michelle Obama, who says, "Once again, you've helped redefine a music genre and transform our culture. You've transformed it. I'm so proud of you. Cowboy Carter is a reminder that despite everything we've been through, to be heard, seen, and recognized." I mean, she always finds a way to work how downtrodden she's been into her tweets and posts. "We can still dance, sing, and be who we are unapologetically." I'm sure it's very hard for Beyonce to be who she is unapologetically with her billions of dollars that she's earned and her husband has earned, despite how crappily this nation has treated her. This album reminds us all that we all have power. There is power in our history, in our joy, and in our vote. And of course, it goes on to, "Together, we can stand up for what we believe in. We must do that at the ballot box. And as Queen Bey says at the end of Ya Ya, we need to keep the faith and vote." What is this? Is this feminism? Is this aggrievement? And why is it that Queen Bey is being treated like she's the first one to take a little dalliance over into this weird, heretofore unknown field of country music?
Yeah, my take on this is like, we don't have to do this, guys. We don't have to do it. I like Beyonce fine. I like country music, like some more than others, whether it comes to Beyonce's catalog or country music, right? But this thing where we have to be like, it's compulsory worship of this moment. I don't think we need to do that. And I don't think it has to be this. It could just be like a decent album, but we don't really do that in our culture anymore.
We have to make it into something so much bigger. One of the things that jumped out at me on this is like how well she lays out like her PR connections when she drops this album. Like she has a cover, and we're going to talk about it, of Jolene by Dolly Parton. She gets Dolly Parton to endorse it on the album. Dolly Parton does an intro, then publicly she says something endorsing it. She sings Blackbird by Paul McCartney, or at least uses a piece of it. And she gets Paul McCartney to write out. I'm so happy with Beyonce's version of Blackbird. I think she's done a fab version, and would urge anyone who has not heard it yet to check it out. Then there's Linda Martrell, legendary country artist. What she's doing is beautiful. I'm honored to be a part of it. Then there's Nancy Sinatra, because she uses a piece of These Boots Are Made for Walking. I love her. This may be the best sample of boots yet. Yes, Nancy, even better than yours. Go ahead and lick the boots a little harder. See what that gets you. And then we get to Jolene, which everybody loves. Who doesn't love Dolly Parton's version it's her song, of Jolene. For those of you who don't know it, I'm sure I'm speaking to like two people, here's a little sample of the OG.
But I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Oh, I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can.
Okay. I'm going to talk about and recommend to everybody this Kat Rosenfield piece in Unheard today, because she nailed exactly my own sort of inner reaction to the new Beyonce take on this. The original Jolene is a story about a woman feeling threatened by another woman who's prettier and more alluring, and she's basically begging her not to steal her man. That, she can do it. She flatters her. I know you can. You're so gorgeous, and you've got the, red hair and the green eyes, and I know what you're capable of, but please don't, because I love him and I could never love anybody as much. Then, of course, because it's Queen Bey, we have to change it to, if you fucking take my man, I will hurt you, bitch. She actually uses the word bitch in the new version, and it's much more like threatening, which I guess Beyonce and Team Bey think is what empowerment looks like. For now, the threatened woman is just threatening to another woman who she thinks might have designs on her life partner. Here's Beyonce's version.
I can easily understand why you're attracted to my man, but you don't want the smoke, so shoot your shot with someone else.
I love that.
Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm warning you, woman, find you your own man.
Okay. So it's got a lot of that in there. And I have to say, I don't find this empowering at all. And I think to Kat Rosenfield's point, there's something strange about what's happening with the modern day definition of what a strong woman is. Like, you can't have any vulnerabilities or insecurities. You have to be this badass bitch who's like threatening, like, fucking A, you mess with my man. To me, it's a turnoff. And actually, Bridget, what Kat says, and I totally agree with this, she says, paradoxically, this reveals how disempowered and insecure Beyonce is in this messaging. If she's a queen, as the song says, and has no doubts about her man's devotion, then why is she threatening to throw hands at any woman who looks at him sideways? And I was thinking the same thing myself. The true power move is not to worry and not to have to worry. But
Yeah.
Beyonce couldn't quite get there.
Well, what bugs me about both these versions is they really never hold the man to any account.
Right.
And they're never really saying anything about the man or to the man. But I also, I find it interesting, even if I don't agree that it's necessarily the most empowering, it seems like it's just a different variation of female insecurity that's kind of shape-shifted over time. Dolly Parton came from a different time. It was a more modest and subdued time. And Beyonce is of the yes queen feminism. And I think that kind of in-your-face version it's still just female insecurity. I've definitely seen that in my life. I've been on the other side of it. And I think there's parts of me that have tried to be like, don't get in my way. Or, I mean, I'm not very threatening. Who am I kidding? But I think it's like a female. It's interesting to me that this is just it's a more modern female. It still strikes me as insecurity. It's all just female insecurity.
Yes. Honestly, what woman who's in a real good, healthy relationship is running around threatening other hot women? I'll beat you up if you take my man. I don't get, I feel like Beyonce would have been better served by just redoing it. You don't have to tell your story, right? Obviously, She was cheated on by Jay-Z. She's written about it. She's been singing about it for many years now. You don't have to tell your story. You're telling a story. And this is a version of womanhood where an insecure woman feels threatened by a more beautiful other woman. And as Kat writes in her piece, almost savvily figures out a way to land it. Yeah. Not by shaming the man, not by threatening the woman, but with flattery of this beautiful threat, MK, and yes, a plea to stay out of it, which is much more complex and interesting.
Well, as a woman who many women come to me and say, I know you can take my man, but please don't. It happens on a daily basis. They're going to be in my Twitter feed right after this. I can say, no, look, I think the original Jolene is sad and deep. At least it's deeply sad song that she's having to do this. And it's
fascinating for that reason.
Yeah. Yes. It's like psychologically interesting. Now, would I live my life more like the Beyonce version? Probably. I'm a little threatening. I might be more.
Speaking of the Linda Hamilton years.
But I think there's a whole genre of country music in particular that can get very sad and a little pathetic sometimes. And I would argue that people shouldn't live their lives that way. But I enjoy the character drama of that sadness, of that pain. And that's what I reacted to in the original Jolene. Also, covering it just as Dolly Parton did means you have to compete with Dolly Parton, who is the Jolene of music. So there's that.
It's true. It's true. She begins her piece by, I don't know, did you guys see on X a couple weeks ago, there have been some amazing pictures of Dolly Parton, circa 1965 circulating, and she's absolutely stunning. We'll put one on this page for when we air this on YouTube. And she begins her piece by saying, not long ago, a post crossed my timeline featuring a black and white, heart-stoppingly gorgeous photo of Dolly Parton in the 60s. The caption read simply, "What the hell did Jolene look like?" One can only wonder. But her argument is follows. She says that we have replaced certain models of female resilience with the quote badass woman who has no feelings, who has no flaws, who has little use for other people except as either casual sex partners or punching bags, men in particular. And she writes, it's ironic in a world where women can pursue even more varied paths to fulfillment that the representation of female strength in art has become increasingly narrow, one-dimensional, and masculinized. The self-rescuing princess, who could forget the Snow White actress, right, out there, how much she hates Snow White. There's not going to be rescued by a prince. The emotionally aloof action heroine, the invulnerable, workaholic, commitment-phobic playgirl. An awful lot of strong female characters these days are basically just men with tits. This is such a good observation. She's right. This is a point I've been trying to make in different ways, which is why did we have to go from women shouldn't work, women should only have babies, women aren't strong, women are too emotional, women have to be locked up for their hysterics if they express tears or, anxiety, to women have no emotion, women are total ball busters, and showing any softness, tears, empathy, vulnerability, insecurity is somehow non-feminine and no longer acceptable in one's idea of what a woman is, what an ideal woman is.
Yeah, I think there's little flexibility often. It's very confusing what the cultural message is. And even Beyonce herself has fallen into this trap. I wrote about this in the past about the moment where she walked in front of that feminist sign at whatever it was, the MTV Awards or something, or maybe the Grammys. And it's just lit up and feminist behind her and she's standing in front of it. It's very powerful. And then shortly after that, she takes her husband's name and then uses it on a tour. And she got lambasted for doing that. And it's there's a lot of ways to be we just give ourselves that. I don't have to shoot for this C-suite. And I also don't have to only be at home. There's a real happy medium somewhere here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it was a swing and a miss. I think this guy from The Atlantic who reviewed Beyonce's cover of Jolene nailed it, where he wrote that Beyonce replaced the vulnerability that made Jolene one of the best tunes of all time with a bunch of bad bitch cliches. And if you listen to the whole song, all the lyrics are changed. She's changed the entire meaning of the song, but she's bastardized it because she's kept the name Jolene and the tune. But this is an entirely different message, and I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. Grand Canyon University, a private Christian university in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, believes in equal opportunity and that the American dream starts with purpose. Change the world for good by putting others before yourself. Whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, GCU's online, on-campus, and hybrid learning environments are designed to help you achieve your unique academic, personal, and professional goals. With over 330 academic programs as of September, GCU meets you where you are and provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. The pursuit to serve others is yours. Let it flourish. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.